Hello everybody, I'm Tom and you are watching me play The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. In today's episode, we're going to follow Kira Metz down into this Elven ruin. So Kira is a previous member of the Lodge of Sorceresses. I'm not walking forward here, by the way, because I guarantee they're going to start talking about something and it'll cut me off. But she's a previous member of the Lodge of Sorceresses, but she had an elf come up to her, a mysterious elf who wore a mask, and was a mage, and was asking her about Ciri, and he told her to meet her here if she ever got any information on Ciri, so we're going to go investigate. As it were. Oh. Thank you, Kira. She's now just emanating light, that's useful. Geralt probably doesn't need it that much, to be perfectly honest, but oh my god. Werewolf decoction. I can't. Can I? It does let me meditate, good. Sorry, fiend decoction. There we go. Well, that's intriguing.
The Wild Hunt.
What? Phantom Riders? That means... I thought they didn't exist.
Feast your eyes on the non-existent then. Got a navigator with them.
What?
Can you teleport us to the other side?
I'd rather teleport us home. Do you really mean to follow them?
Teleport. Hurry up.
Not sure I like any of this.
I'm still overburdened even with the decoction. There we go. From memory, the navigator is a better teleporter than Kira, so...
Damn portals. Wonder where Kira is now.
It's really hard to see for you guys, probably. Hello, drowners. It's actually easier to see underwater, which is interesting. I don't know whether I'm going to use cat or not. The downside of cat being, obviously, that it makes everything black and white, and actually kind of arguably harder to see in a lot of situations underwater. I think I'll try and fix it up a bit in post. But as it stands now, it's actually kind of hard for me to see, because I'm actually recording in the morning, and I get a bit of light glare in here, but... I think for the most part, we should be fine. Let's go this way first. Well, hello. Boglet dead. You know what? I'm gonna go for cat. It's too hard to see currently. Unfortunately, but what you gonna do? Also, apparently this Querus that I just picked up, yeah, weighs 12. Ugh. Armor is the real one that gets you, really. Yeah, I'm down 150 without that armor. It's the armor that really gets you. As I was gonna do originally, let's actually drink some cat. Here we go. That is arguably a lot easier to see, I will grant them that. From memory, I'm now going the correct way, so I want to go the incorrect way first. Always the incorrect way. I think this is much easier to see. Actually, maybe this isn't the correct way. By which I mean the incorrect way. Apologies for running back and forth, but I want to explore as much of the cave as I can, because... I mean, I guess technically you can come back here later, but... I think the general idea Yeah, they take me to the same place. I'm also just going to drink because it's going to be easier than me constantly burning this away. Golden Oriole. Means I heal when I'm poisoned, so that's the thing. I can just stand in this stuff to heal. Dead drowners. You'll have to deal with Geralt going all the time, but aside from that...
Kira!
Bifurcated. Chest over here. Once again, I think I'm pretty much at the point where I want to stop looting stuff. I think I'll loot like chests and things that are like obviously going to be beneficial to me. But I think a lot of like random crates and things I'm just going to leave at this point because I don't need them. And it's just filling up my... Having said that, there are chests everywhere. Oh, another foglet. Yep, hello Kira. Coming! Oh, rats.
Geralt, do something! They're crawling out of those holes! Use a sign or bombs, anything!
Stay calm. They're only rats.
I hate rats!
Where are the holes?
Get them all! Ah!
I remember this being a pain in the ass. Specifically because... Oh, my...
Do you know the diseases they spread?
Interesting. It's the fleas, not the rats. My quick menu isn't working, and I've had this problem a couple of times.
Disgusting.
You know what? Come up here. And one down. I think there's something wrong with my tilde key on my keyboard. Oh yeah.
Thank you.
You that afraid of rats? Could have annihilated them with one spell. Fine, won't say anything. So what happened to you?
There's something here. Something that distorts teleportation. I've no idea how they managed to get to the other side problem-free.
Wild Hunt's
interesting.
teleportation magic is different. Got specially trained mages for that. Navigators, they call them.
They can have 3 helmsmen and a parrot for all I care. I'll not risk that again.
Fair enough.
Let's go. Wild Hunt got a good head start on us, but we still stand a chance.
Have you gone completely mad? We must leave here at once.
I gotta know what the Wild Hunt's doing here.
But we came to find the Elven Mage, not fight the hunt.
If they reach him first, we won't get a chance to talk to him. Besides...
Go on, finish. Wait, you've got some special interest in the hunt. Is this about Ciri? There's something you've not told me, isn't there?
Come with me and maybe I will.
You're always like this. I'm beginning to feel sorry for Triss and you. Oh, very well. Let's go. Gavella Glan.
I like Kira. Cat is now less relevant because Kira actually is using a light spell on herself, which is interesting. She just emanates light.
Larana Luna. Herne. Silvate Larana Lunet.
That's him. That's the elf.
Arvek Va Lediv.
What was that? An illusion?
No. A morphotic projection.
A what?
A what projection?
Something akin to a postbox for mages. Much safer than an ordinary letter, which anyone can intercept en route to its recipient.
Well, I mean, we just intercepted that message. Clearly it was for Ciri.
Message was definitely for Ciri, daughter of the Gull, Lara Doran's heir.
Indeed. It is what the elves would title Ciri. But what was the bit about the sign of her sword? A riddle?
Yeah, not a hard one, though. Not if you know Ciri named her sword Tirel, Swallow.
Come now. Who aside from you would know that?
Might have been the point. Your Elven Mage secured the passage, hid it, so that only Ciri could find it.
He failed to foresee that someone like you would show up.
Nevertheless, I think he was expecting uninvited guests. Made some preparations. Let's hope the Wild Hunt ran into some obstacles.
Well then, let's go. Do you think following the swallows will suffice?
We'll see.
Follow the swallows. Cyril.
An old elven port.
Must have been how they got here by sea.
I wonder how long ago that was.
Very long ago.
Careful. That oily yellow vapor, it's toxic.
I hardly need instruction from you. I recognized the Vulpine already.
Doesn't seem to these mushrooms.
Terrible idea. What happened?
Well, he survived. Had wounds he lost from Witchers.
It's a lot easier when you have Golden Oriole, because you can just run through the poison. Also, the combat was kind of louder than the dialogue there. I keep opening my map as if it's going to show me a bigger mini-map. It does not.
A swallow. Seems we're headed the right way.
Oh, interesting. Cool. I like the fact she actually climbs. Because usually if you're with mages, they don't climb with you, they just teleport. But she's already said that teleporting in here is unwise because it doesn't work, so they actually break with that convention, which is very cool.
Look, it's rather similar to that other pillar with the projection.
Cyril, ni forda sol esser in. Cyril, ni forda sol esser in. Hail Silla Kelpie.
Kelpie? Does he mean that sea monster?
Means a horse.
No, that's what Ciri named her mare. Horse could apparently gallop like a demon.
Good name for a horse. So, shall we look for it?
Swallow.
Gavella Glan.
I was about to say, did my cat run out? Seemingly, yes. I'm actually going to drink it again because I think it was definitely a better viewing experience with the cat on. There's the Kelpie. We're looking for a horse. That's a dog, right? Not a horse. Interesting.
I wonder what all this means. They look hastily scribbled on with lime.
So you got to swallow an actual Kelpie. And then this one that...
Hunting dog. Can't see any connection to Kelpie.
Must you touch everything? Geralt, are you alright?
You might say so.
Ah. Hello.
Drawing of a horse. Clue for Ciri. Must be.
Let's go. There is an underground path, by which I mean an underwater path.
Kelpie, another horse. Almost exactly like the last one. Let's see what this does.
Geralt, I don't know what you did, but it worked. Come back here.
I'm back.
Look, they're opening.
Nice.
Let's go. Well, now I know what distorted my effort at teleportation. This very portal.
And I know why I landed in that drowner nest.
You should be pleased you emerged from the portal in one piece.
And everyone still wonders why I hate to be teleported.
We must try to activate it.
Interesting.
Think that's a... swallow.
Come.
Sure it's safe.
Of course. The Elven Mage prepared this passage for Ciri. Come on now.
Puts her money where her mouth is, she just immediately walks through it.
Gavella Glad. It's grown awfully quiet.
Is that bad?
A bit like the calm before a storm.
Hello.
I've a bad feeling about this.
TIL not recognized. Intruders. Destroy the intruders.
Just wonderful.
Golem makes sense. Couple of things here. One, my sword is damaged. So let's repair that. Secondly, I think we just got a monster entry for golems, unless... I already had it, which I may have. We have one for Harisi, apparently. Was this... This must have been a contract we did? Oh yeah, this was... Okay, this was the contract underneath where we saved the... well, we didn't actually save really anyone. There was like a group of women from the village, and only one of them lived. It attacked us. Gods, I don't know what it were, but 'twere at least 4 spans high. Velen peasant woman. Velen's woods and bogs brim with monsters. This fact is well known, and thus when the war drove refugees from the hostile lands, certain of their number thought to avoid the danger of the lowlands by hiding in an abandoned mine. They were in for an unfortunate surprise. The shaft they chose for their sanctuary was inhabited by a poisonous Arrakis, a merciless and bloodthirsty monster. The Witcher knew he was in for a tough fight. The Arrakis had dwelled in the mine for years and had grown large and particularly strong and resilient in that time. Like other members of its vile species, it would be dangerous both at close quarters and at a distance. What's more, it was almost certainly venomous. He would need to imbibe Swallow or Golden Oriole, or both, before attacking if he was to stand a chance of surviving. As a small consolation, the Witcher knew the monster would be vulnerable to his signs, especially Igni, Ard, and Erden, as well as the Northern Wind Bomb. The Witcher arrived at the cave too late to save the refugees, but he could still avenge their fate. He slew the powerful Arrakis and destroyed the eggs bearing its vile offspring. Indeed. We apparently... already have an entry for golems. We do. We already fought one, and I've already read it.
That would be that. I knew we'd manage.
That's so? Make sure and tell me beforehand next time.
My intuition's a fine instrument, Witcher. Don't underestimate it.
Mm-hmm. Intuition, eh?
I've some very good feelings about you, for instance. In several domains. Once you finally find Ciri, what will you do?
Mm-hmm.
Any plans?
Depends what she wants.
Imagined it. How it will transpire. What will she say? What will she look like?
No.
I'm sorry for getting ahead of myself. At times I forget. We hardly know each other. Certainly not enough to discuss personal matters.
Not to worry. We'll get there.
Geralt is actually a rather charismatic person, really. Oh, this is a gargoyle.
Uh-oh.
What? Got that feeling again?
That is a new entry, however.
Look, they're opening. Let's go. Gavella Glan.
For gargoyles. Here we go. Is it just me? Or is that gargoyling? Ogling us. Lara Estevan, burglar from Lochmuin. There were quite a few gargoyles in Lochmuin. It's the last place you go in The Witcher 2, but there's like, specifically I remember one specific room where like 3 gargoyles drop on top of you. It's really bad. Gargoyles are stone statues brought to life by magic in order to guard mages' laboratories and lairs from intruders. Their appearance alone has scared off more than one prospective burglar. Those who do not take fright at the sight of these horned and winged monstrosities usually die shortly thereafter, torn to shreds by stony claws. Indeed. Luckily, I'm over-leveled to shit, so it wasn't too difficult. It's kind of funny, it made the start of this Let's Play really hard, and the rest of it is somewhat pleasantly easy, I will say, because it allows me to just go through the story.
We must activate it quickly. I have a feeling another golem's about to surprise us.
Another swallow.
Look, it worked. Come on. Look, we've managed to cross the bridge. This is where we saw the wild hunt.
Great. Means they're way ahead of us. Come on.
Gavella Glan.
Wild hunt. Definitely.
They destroyed the Mage's sentries.
Look at that.
Come here for a friendly chat with the elf.
Meaning you ever thought they might have?
It's just frozen them solid. Didn't even kill them, necessarily. Just completely immobilize them and then they're not an issue. It's impressive.
Froze them before they could attack.
Yeah. I think I got a Quen on before this cutscene started.
Shut up!
It's a regular narrow. It might be Calanthe.
S.I. Isa. Jabba Doi Nilin Yama. Ren! Shentabir!
What is this?
The White Frost. Mage from the hunt summoned it. Can you see all those cracks it's blowing through?
They're too far. We must get closer. I shall shield us with Demetia Crest's surge. Stand at my side. Darian Annoy! Ready. Stay close.
Fantastic. Why are you walking over here first, Kira? Clearly a poor decision. That one was closer.
Hey, Nicola!
She doesn't want to get too close to it, I guess.
We must close them. Where do you go? I'll do it. Just cover me.
Damn. There's future quests where you can close a rift like that by using Erden on top of it. I was just seeing if that worked now, that would be hilarious.
Just one more.
I'm pretty sure Kira's health scales the same way enemies' health does, so I believe she has about 1 billion health. I'm not actually talking much through this section, mainly because the game is really, really loud at the moment, so I can't really hear myself talk. Having said that, yeah, I think Kira's health scales with New Game Plus, so I think she's effectively unkillable by the enemies. Which is something, because if she didn't scale with New Game Plus, I think she would die in one hit, which would suck. Because she's effectively like level 3 or something, so probably higher than that. I'm just kind of running through the middle of this portal at the moment. I'm taking advantage of the fact that there seems to be something broken about the quest and I can stand outside the bubble without taking any damage. Also, the Hounds of the Wild Hunt aren't using any of their magic, which is also useful. They have the ability to, like, shoot up elemental ice rocks around them.
Kira! What's wrong?
It'll pass. That took a great deal of power.
Just don't faint on me.
Now, in your firm embrace, not a new life.
Love to be able to say we could stay here a while and rest.
I know. We must go on.
She's so dramatic. Literal hand to the head.
Block the passage. Maybe I can try.
Leave it to me.
Are you sure? Burning through a lot of magical power here, Kira. It is magical ice, I guess that makes sense. From this point, I'm not going to bother with Cat.
Pretty tough slog.
Good thing I came with you. You'd never have managed without me, would you? Come now, admit it.
Yeah, never.
I don't know what's in here, but I have to find out. Nothing, seemingly, is what's in... Oh, there's a chest.
Damn, you're ugly. Shit.
Dead fog, what's in here? Fantastic. Let's go, Kira.
He awaits us.
Indeed he does. You were named member of the Wild Hunt, or just a big guy with an axe?
You're stubborn one.
Geralt, I shall help you.
Step back.
Stop telling me what to do.
I wonder how long you last.
Longer than you think. Stupid knife-eared elf. You'll notice they're speaking Elvish. Ow.
Geralt! Geralt, look!
I'm fine.
He's opening a passage.
This home. Focus.
Geralt!
It's fine. Don't worry about it. The downside to not locking on is he sometimes auto-attacks the guy that explodes when you attack him. Woo. Interesting. Sadafaka and L. Any other potions I want to take here? So just to make this easier? Probably. I'll drink a Blizzard. Black Blood is kind of irrelevant. Thunderbolt probably useful. And Tornial useful.
Another rift!
He didn't even heal the full. Woo.
Well and whole. I feared.
Unnecessarily. That's
Woo.
If I've my knickers on straight, this looks like the elves' laboratory.
Cut him in half.
Look, the elf left another message for Ciri.
Gonna grab these chests while I'm here. It's fine.
Larena Luna.
Alright, let's watch this message.
After the White Frost. Spring ash down dreary hills. Past sparkling waters. Tinalia drifts slowly, softly, silently, into oblivion. Sage lips blacken, frosted bones quiver. Before an icebound eye can blink, in distant skies I will watch your descent.
Shirel, this place is no longer safe. Do not tarry here long. Trust no one. And above all, beware the witches of Crookback Bog. Try to reach the place where last we were together.
Interesting. Probably the witches they were talking about.
Not much to go on. Damn it.
Perhaps it's best he didn't leave a clearer message. The Wild Hunt broke in here. Surely they saw the projection.
They searched everything.
Make a fair point.
And if they had more time, they'd probably have torn the place to the ground. But that doesn't change the fact that we haven't learned anything. Not about the elf, not about Ciri.
Well, we know they were well acquainted and traveling together.
I like that you're being positive here, Kira.
Wonder why they split up.
Perhaps because the Wild Hunt was on the elf's trail, and Ciri would be safer if they did.
I think it's the other way around, to be honest.
The witches of Crookback Swamp.
Bog.
Crookback Bog.
Kira, if you're hiding something...
But I didn't say...
You know these witches?
I've never met them, but I've read of them. In an old manuscript I found in one of the huts in the village. It mentions the village witches venturing into Crookback Bog at times to liaise between the villagers and the crones, the ladies of the wood. The crones appear to be intolerant of outsiders, but they help the local folk. Apparently, they stopped the spread of the plague in Velen.
What's your take on this?
I'd love to shrug it off as the nattering of so many old women, yet throughout my first fortnight in Velen, I had horrible nightmares. Something was calling me out into the swamps. One night, I decided to enter the dream consciously, render it lucid. I confronted the thing directly. It broke contact at once. Peaceful nights ever since.
Interesting.
Why didn't you say anything earlier? I told you Ciri had a run-in with a witch.
Well, I had no idea you meant then. If I'd told you something, you would have rushed off to find them. But we needed first to confirm that Ciri was here, didn't we? I shall tell you everything now, of course.
Now, after I safely led you through the cave,
I can't believe you'd think so poorly of me. Perhaps you do bear a grudge against sorceresses.
Mm-hmm. Can't imagine where that comes from. How do I find them?
The swamps are vast, dangerous, but they say the crones mark the way for peasants who wish to visit them. The manuscript mentions a chapel in Crookback Bog, and from that chapel one must follow a trail of treats.
Treats?
Of course. They didn't read you bedtime stories at Kaer Morhen. All normal folk know that witches live in gingerbread houses poised atop chicken legs.
I'll have to see that to believe it.
Take the tome and read it. I truly do believe you'll find your Cyrilla. All right then. As a start, let's look for a way out of here.
Good idea.
We did actually read a note on a notice board that said if you
Why do you
see...
even come?
There was a note on notice board that said, if you see treats hanging from trees, run away from them as fast as you can. Which is interesting. A couple of things to read here. Firstly, we have the Elder Blood. What exactly is the Elder Blood? According to some, it is a powerful elven curse, passed from generation to generation. Those in whose veins the infamous Hen Echa flows are said to carry death and destruction within them, to sow hatred and disdain in the hearts of men. It was from this contaminated blood that Ithilines prophesied an Avenger would be born, a destroyer of nations and worlds. Others claim the Elder Blood is an extremely rare inherited talent, granting control over time and space to a degree unattainable even to elven sages. Sadly, few bearers of this gift have been able to control it in full. This merely partial mastery inevitably leads to sudden outbursts of the power that take the form of unpredictable, uncontrollable, and thus extremely dangerous explosions. Behind the dark legend about the curse of the Elder Blood lies the truth of their tragic cases. For obvious reasons, the bearers of the Elder Blood were always subjects to great interest to the world's mighty and to mages alike. The former counted on the truth of Ithilne's prophecy, on an Avenger being born who could destroy worlds, and who they could thus use for their purposes. As for the latter, they hoped to harness the magic of Hennicha to broaden their own knowledge and powers. Ultimately, however, all their plans were for naught. The Elder Bloodline broke off with the disappearance of the heiress of the Nilfgaardian crown, Cyrilla Fiona Ellen Rion. Interesting. And we have the Ladies of the Wood. The gods have abandoned us. The mighty of this earth care not for our fate. Only the Ladies of the Wood watch over Velen. In foul times, when plagues and famine reap their harvest, we must beg the ladies for help. If they see fit, they will hear our pleas and knock back misfortune's foul blows. This is how one begs help from the ladies. For a child, young and innocent, find a child, young and innocent, and take it to Crookback Bog. Seek out the lady's shrine, 'tis where the trail of treats begins. Set the child off on the trail, and it shall follow the sweet track and find the good ladies. The child will never want for anything, for the ladies are kind and generous. Stand before their shrine, pronounce your supplication to the good ladies will hear, for they see and hear all that takes place in their demesne? I don't know how you would pronounce that word, I've read it before. It's equivalent of domicile, I believe. If you make the offering as it must be done, your plea shall be heard. So you have to give up your children to get your plea, which is intriguing.
Mysterious mage herbalist.
I do want to eventually find a way out of here. Introduction to Applied Magic. Magic is the science of harnessing, subduing, and making use of the power of the elements. It is also an incarnation of chaos, which is why no one without proper training should ever dabble in any of its domains. Expert mages make of magic an art, but the road to virtuosity leads through years of practice, study, and hard work. And requires a considerable amount of required inborn talent. Magic was implanted in our world through the conjunction of the spheres, and was discovered to be living, changeable and controllable being shortly. And was discovered to be a living, changeable, and controllable being shortly thereafter. The name of the first mage, the one who first discovered this talent within himself and grappled with his power, is unknown. We do know, however, that it is a relatively short period of time after the discovery of magic groups. After the discovery of magic, groups began to form in which talented beings could work together on developing their abilities. This period is usually considered the beginning of magic as a science, and these groups, the prototypes of magic schools. The fundamental planes from which one might draw magic power are earth, water, air, and fire. In the tome which you currently hold, each of these we will have a separate chapter dedicated to it. Ordered accordingly to the level of difficulty and danger associated with the element discussed. I stumbled over myself a couple of times there. A few of them were my fault, and a few of them were grammatical errors in the actual writing of it. Which, you know, I don't really blame CD Projekt for. It's a secondary language for them. The Bear Legend. The Berserkers do not constitute a separate clan in terms of blood or lineage. They are instead a family forged by warriors who have heard the call of the bear, and answered it by abandoning their loved ones and joining the community of mountain dwellers. Not every man who seeks to join it is accepted into the Brotherhood. The candidates first must pass difficult trials, which usually end in their death. The last trial is the hardest. It is called the Trial of the Bear's Triumph. But few outside the Brotherhood have ever witnessed it, and none know what those who undergo it must endure. Quite curiously, the inhabitants of Skellige themselves know very little about the Berserkers, or Vidkals as they call them. They do not like to talk about these man-bears, not with outsiders, and not even amongst themselves. Interesting.
Must have burned these notes himself. The hunt wouldn't have bothered.
Meaning he knew they were looking for him.
That's very true, Kira.
What's this?
The potion I gave him. Seems he saw a use for it. Drank it.
Intriguing.
Strange. My medallion's trembling, but there's nothing here. What's with this wall?
It's an illusion. I sensed it as well. I expected we might run into such things, so I brought this.
Finally.
What?
The Eye of Nahalani. It dispels illusions. It's easy enough to build, so you're welcome to this one. It's bound to come in handy. And each time it does, you will think of me.
Thanks.
So, what we just got there, I really need to... Give me a second. Alright, we're back. For whatever reason, it just didn't seem to work. I've now fixed it. I put it on tab instead. Maybe it was always supposed to be on tab. I don't know. Something screwy's going about. I can tell you that much for free. Potion from Tiernalia. It's cool. Quest item here. Oh. I thought you had to have it equipped. You don't. Fantastic.
Simple, isn't it?
Let's see where the passage leads.
Do you feel that? A flow of fresh air from the left. Must be an exit that way.
Good. Let's get out of here.
Wait, there's still the magic lamp.
The magic what now?
Lamp. The elf promised it to me in exchange for my help. And since his return here seems doubtful, I must retrieve it myself. If I can find it, that is. Will you help?
Yeah, I'll help.
Splendid. Come then.
I'm not gonna let her die.
We're certain to find something here. It looks like another damned riddle to me.
Once again, I'm gonna take Cat. This is gonna be a very long episode, by the way. Probably around an hour. I may cut out some stuff or speed some stuff up, but it's still gonna be relatively long. There we go. Much easier to see. Whoops.
Seems we did something wrong.
Clearly. Interesting. Let's read the riddle first, shall we?
Inscription here.
Show me.
Can you translate the inscription? I can decipher maybe a third, but that third doesn't make much sense.
Give me a minute. I was never any good at the high variant of the Elder Speech. Alright. This might seem a bit literal. I'm afraid I can't replicate its sophisticated internal rhymes.
Just translate it to make sense.
Good old Geralt. Just do the thing,
Guardians,
Julie.
4 flames, standing proud in a line. The first to light his fire dared not march on the end. The second, by the first, played a woeful lament. The third kept close to his faithful beast. The fourth marched not beside the first, yet like the second played a tune. And thus they stood o'er their queen, who slept beneath flickering stars.
Okay, I think I got it.
Sounds like a riddle, all right. All right, let's see if we can solve this.
Alright, so the first is not by the side, which is in the middle. So it's this one. The second one plays a fiddle, which is
Let's
this
try
one.
it. Just gotta figure out the order.
Wait. Something just happened.
Behind that wall, a movement.
The third stands by his faithful companion. And the fourth also plays a tune. Okay, so it's this one and then the last one. Nice. Relatively easy riddle. Just gotta remember it is the thing, I suppose.
Whose grave is it? What do you think? No inscription, sadly.
Sign of the gull. If I didn't already know where she was buried, I'd guess this is Lara Doran's sepulcher.
Perhaps it's a monument to her.
Can't see the elves commemorating her this way. Heroine of a tragic legend to some, but most see her as a traitor to her race, who got her just deserts for marrying Cregennan of Laud.
Perhaps the Elven Mage is Lara's kin. It would explain why he's helping Ciri.
It would.
Possible. This what you're looking for?
Uh-huh.
So what's it supposed to do?
I hope I'll be able to activate it. Let's leave this place, shall we?
Straight ignore my question. Thank you very much. Sage's notes. Interesting. Day 3275. Final conclusions regarding the lamp. My experiences with the magic lamp unequivocally confirm that by using it, active centers of condensed spiritual energy can be coaxed into contact and can communicate a limited set of the being's last memories. Lara Doran's remains, however, emit entirely inert spiritual energy, despite the violent conditions of her death, which should have strengthened the desired tendency. Lara remains silent. At this point, further research on lamps enabling contact with the dead seems entirely useless for my purposes. Who's trying to reach her? Sad. More sad because I know the story of it.
Medallion's humming. Place of power. It's gotta be. Just wonderful.
Can have Kira help me kill the golem. Makes it even easier. Nice, Kira. I believe there's a bunch of chests in here, which is why it's beneficial to actually come down here. But aside from that, I don't think there's a whole lot here. It's just loot. So I'm going to head up to the top, and then that'll probably be the end of the episode. Come on, Kira, let's go. But the police power is also nice. Alrighty then. Up these stairs, I suppose.
We going?
Kira's like a million miles away. I think she'll catch up in a cutscene.
There's something here. Need to use the eye.
And very, very bright. I saw a monster over there.
At last. But it was worth it, right? You learned something about Ciri in the end. Something important.
Something you could have told me from the
You
start.
intend to venture into Crookback Bog? You must tell me about it afterwards.
Don't know that I'll get the chance.
Geralt, there are two types of men. Those who see opportunity and take advantage, and those who forge the opportunities themselves. I've always seen you as an example of the latter. Besides, I've a favour to ask you. So, visit me sometime?
I'll stop by. You can be sure.
In that case, I shall be waiting.
See ya, Kira.
All of them use their sexuality ridiculously. I mean, it gets them shit, so that works, I suppose. Whoa, water. All the water deloaded there. When we walked out, I saw a monster over there. Sounds like the monster is coming here. I'm going to track that crest because I'm actually going to do it pretty much right away. There's a hag over here, though. Hello? I love the way the sound the water hags make. Nevertheless, we're done for this episode. It was a long one, and we did quite a few things, but finally, we're out of that cave, and we've fully done that quest for Kira. Interesting there that she essentially lied to us. We told her that Ciri met with a witch, and she knew about the witches of Crookback Bog, which she could have told us about immediately. Instead, she took us to this elf's lair to get the lamp. The reason she came here was because she wanted to get the lamp. She was using us. Which sorceresses just tend to do, it seems, and Geralt always seems to be the dummy that always falls for it. But, nevertheless, that's going to be it for this episode. If you like the video, please leave a like. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing, all that kind of stuff. And, as always, thanks for watching, and I shall see you next time, where we're going to go talk to Kira again, and we're going to help her out with whatever problem she's having at the moment. Anyway, see you guys.